Hi there, my name is Catherine Brown, and I'm the Vice President of Marketing and Corporate Social Responsibility at Aviva Canada. First, I'd like to thank Environics for having me here today, and I look forward to some great conversation through the Q&A. But before we start, I'm going to take us back. I'm going to take us back about a year ago. We were all planning for 2020. Budgets had been confirmed, plans were in place, we had clear priorities and excitement about the upcoming year. Then what happened? 2020. Not very recommended. It really took a turn, and all of our clear plans and roadmaps were totally thrown out the window. And that's when pivot became the buzzword of 2020. And we all had to do that exact thing. So let's level set as to where we're at today. We have 2020 goals, and we needed to find a way to reposition them in this new climate and market. But on top of that, what we had was increasing demand. And we saw that through multiple cross-functional teams, whether we were taking a look at media and PR, communications, web capabilities, frontline staff, IT, legal, the same teams were working on increased demand to deal with a rapidly evolving environment. On top of that, we had same or less resourcing. A lot of us had hiring freezes, repurposing of resources across the organization to help in key areas, and technology issues that really was a constraint on our resource. And on top of that, we had increased ROI requirements as we were heading forward. We needed to prove out where we were investing and how we were getting the return on that exact investment. We had 2020 goals, and as we head forward, 2021 are growth appetite years. This was a rather flat year, and we were in a lot of transition. There was a lot of noise. So heading into 2021, there's heavy growth expectations across multiple organizations. But at the same time as that, we have headwinds coming at us. Based on a recent Gartner survey, half of CMOs are facing mid-year budget cuts in 2020 due to COVID-19. So are we feeling inspired yet? With all this noise going on, it's important to have focus and structure to understand how to most effectively tackle those business objectives heading into this new year in this constrained environment. So now, maybe more than ever, we need to clearly align our business objectives and customer segments to effectively deploy our finite budget and resources. So I'm going to take you through a strategic framework that hopefully can help you align your marketing strategy, segmentation, and business objectives. First, we're going to talk about how to establish the addressable market. Where are you operating, and where do you want to grow? Is it Canada-wide? Are we taking a look at the largest 5 cities, Ontario only? Seems intuitive, but many people establish targets without understanding the landscape. How big is the pool we're actually playing in? We've tackled this challenge, as I'm sure many of you have, by partnering with our friends at Environics. Understanding within that addressable market KPIs, such as households, insurable assets, and purchase propensity. These are all really valuable to overlay to really understand the market that we're playing in. Next is to take a look at your current penetration in that marketplace or addressable market. Through segmentation, understand which segments are we currently attracting as a business, and what is the potential market size by segment. Where are you missing out, and where are you having opportunity and market size to grow? And so many organizations get impatient at that point in time. Let's get to market. Let's see how we can get out there. But it's critical to understand our ability to serve that market. What is our distribution strategy? What is the customer preference? What does the product and proposition fit to the customer need? How is your price and proposition competitive in the marketplace? And how has COVID changed the customer preference and products that we're able to provide? So let's imagine you're at a big bank, one of the big 5. You see an opportunity to grow digital, especially with the customer trends we were seeing through COVID. But you're getting pushback from the business because historically what's been seen is that customers acquired from online are prime or near prime versus the target acquisition. This assumes that the customer preference is not online. It assumes that prime or more affluent customers want to deal in the branch network. That's a bold assumption to be making because most organizations are not suited to actually serve these customers online. That all makes sense if the all distribution channels are created equal, but the reality is they're not. So it's critical to understand the difference between the customer journeys we've created for them and the actual customer preferences. In this example, the customer is routed from an online experience to in-branch to better serve the customer preference. We need to test these assumptions to be most effective in this evolving distribution channel network. Most online products were made for the masses and not fit to the unique needs of individual customers. So now that you've identified the addressable market, you've looked at first-party data and third-party data to understand mix and penetration. We've reviewed our ability to serve the customer, the channel preferences, the competitiveness, the product and proposition fit. So we're ready to go to market, right? No, not yet. One more critical thing that a lot of people don't spend the time to do is to make sure that we have alignment with business risk appetite. Some organizations start here and work out, and that can result in something that I refer to as business navel gazing. If we just take a look at what our current portfolio looks like and what we're currently attracting and try and grow from there, we're really missing the opportunity to stretch our thinking. So you're back at that big bank, and you spent months, marketing team, combing over consultant strategy documents, market research, and have identified a large, underserved market. You've really nailed it. Potential customers feel that you have a right to play in this place and advise customers on co-creating financial plans. You know what the segment looks like. You've taken a look at the channel preferences, the value statements, but you didn't connect it to the business risk model. Just because it's an underserved market doesn't mean there is business alignment. Now, this may be a new opportunity to expand products and risks, but if you don't have that clear end-to-end view from customer need, segmentation, alignment to business and risk appetite, you're going to miss the boat, and it's going to result in a lot of waste in efficiency. And as we talked about earlier, we are in a constrained world now, and we need to make sure that we are all rowing in the same direction and that we don't have misalignment from what's driving business objectives and business growth and what is available in the marketplace to serve that. Now, I just want to take you through a quick Aviva example of this. Of course, it's stripped of all the things you probably want to know, but we've taken it down to just a quick overview. And what is really important is that once you have these kind of core foundational pieces that we've reviewed aligned, the marketing investment, geographical prioritization, and measurement plan should be really clear because you've established the marketplace, your penetration. You could leverage an internal scoring model like a CLV, or at Aviva, we have an Aviva score that you're seeing here. So we're taking a look in this example at target market postal codes, non-target market postal codes, and then the corresponding Aviva score. And this is just the first cut of it to take a look at market prioritization. And from there, you take a look at what your penetration is and where you want to grow. So we're wanting to grow in that gray bar, and we need to make sure that the marketplace is ready and that it's on point for what our target appetite is. All of this needs to really line up to that top line business growth targets that I was talking about earlier. The business wants to grow 5%. But how does that look in reality? Where do we want to grow 5%? Because if you're in a risk oriented business, financial services generally, there is risk appetite that's aligned to that 5% growth. And we need to make sure that that is really efficient so that we can serve those customers appropriately and have long term loyalty with them as well. So, how does that 5% growth target actually relate to our marketplace? Do we need to grow in some markets 10%? How does the risk mix look at point of acquisition, and how are we going to trend it through the year? So once you have this foundational pieces together, it should be rather intuitive as to how you can apply it through great third-party data like Environics. How is that block of gray that we're seeing here with target postal codes actually netting out in your segmentation? From there, you can take a look. Channel preferences are there. Insurable assets for us are there. You can take a look at a lot of different variables, value statements, and be able to understand how to market to that group most efficiently. So these are a number of different components, and I am a huge fan of layering internal and third-party data on top of each other to make sure that we have a holistic view. And that internal data shouldn't just be current portfolio. It really needs to connect to business growth and the core business objectives that the organization is trying to push forward. So let's review. We need to first establish the target market and the addressable market. Sorry, the addressable market, not the target market. Understand our penetration into that market. Really get under our ability to serve it. And how does that show up? Are we really having all of our distribution channels aligned to be equal? Are we able to serve them through all of the different touch points that we have? We need to align it to the business risk appetite. We need to measure based on all these components. Clear, consistent measurement is going to be the key to success of any marketing department, leveraging segmentation, all these really great functions that we have. If we're not tying them back to business outcomes in this constrained environment with this increased requirement for business ROI, we're going to see diminishing investment into our areas, and making sure that we continue to show that value is really critical. Sometimes we get stuck in the left-hand side of this chart to say we have segmentation and we have this theory. We really need to take that into tangible outcomes and measurement within the business that's aligned to business risk appetite to have that level of focus. So we are all going through these extraordinarily challenging times. I'm sitting here at home almost 8 months after being in the office, and I never intended on working from home for this long, as I'm sure nobody had ever imagined that we would be in this place. So I really believe in having structure, a framework, and focus. So how do we work on creating consistency in integrating out the business outcomes and really creating that focus and stability within our teams, because it can be really distracting right now with so much going on in our own lives, in the world, with work, competing priorities, that helping focus where we want to grow, how we want to grow, and having consistent measurement and framework will really help that stability. So I just want to touch on one last thing, is that resilience is one of my favorite words. I think that it's an innate quality that we all have more of than I think we give ourselves credit for, and it's important to be resilient through this time period. So Liz Stanley, who's an expert in resilience, I always remember one of her quotes, which is, when we cannot control the situation around us, we can always choose where we direct our attention. So let's get focus, direct our attention, and get the synergy across our teams in the business so that we can move things forward and better serve our customers. So thank you so much for your time, and I'd be happy to take any questions.